Hey Bowtie Nation, as part of our series to bring you different perspectives and ideas on investing, I wanted to share a video from Kerry at Best of Us Investors on spotting those long-term investing trends. I love the idea of investing in those major trends like we're talking about with our ARK Invest Big Ideas series, finding those disruptive companies changing lives. In fact, I'll also link to another of Kerry's videos on stocks to buy for 2021 in the video description below, so make sure you check that out.
Hi, I'm Kerry Grinkmeyer. I'm the host of the YouTube channel Best of Us Investors. And I was flattered when Joseph asked me if I would do a video to explain my take on the stock market and investments to his audience. He has an audience that is probably 3 times the size of mine. So you can imagine how humbled and how truly privileged I feel. Joseph and I approach things different. We have a different background. Both of us were financial advisors. We advised other people in our life as to how to invest their assets. Joseph is a financial analyst. He understands and he enjoys the fundamentals, the profits, the losses, the values, the things that get into how a business is performing at its immediate objective. I don't get into that. It's not my strength. I don't care that much about it. I'm more of a futurist. That is to say, I don't know what's going to happen in the stock market tomorrow, next week, next month, but I do know what the world's going to look like in 2030. And I think once I know what the world's going to look like, I can have a pretty good idea of who's going to take them there. And then if I can put my efforts towards finding the infant companies, the small companies, the startups that have the technology that are going to take us to where we need to go to get to 2030, I think that's where I play a good game. That's what makes me different, I think, from Joseph. And so I think that's probably why he felt comfortable asking me to come and talk to you. So let me get some disclosures out of the way, and I'll be right back with you.
Best of Us Investors presents Kerry Grinkmeyer.
As I said, I play the long game. I look at the world through a different lens than most YouTubers. Joseph and I both have experience. As I said, he's a CFA, Certified Financial Analyst. I have a CFP, Certified Financial Planner, CHFC, Certified Financial Consultant, and a CLU, Certified Life Underwriter. We both have had experience in the fields that we're talking about. We're probably a little older than most of the YouTubers that you speak to who have no experience whatsoever in the field that they're speaking to. So I think we are a good team. I believe that if you're going to be a good investor, the first thing you have to do is understand the game you're playing. Understand the world's economy that you're getting, that you have an interest in. And I believe that all evolves from knowledge, and you gain knowledge from other people. And the easiest way to gain knowledge from other people who know what the hell they're talking about is to read books. The first book that I read when I really wanted to get into the details of how this economy works is The Accidental Superpower by Peter Zion. And Peter takes you from the shores of the Nile River all the way up to President Trump. And he explains to you how demographics, geography, and the political atmosphere of the world you live in affects the stock market. And I think that's essential. I think you need to know that our economy since 1945 has been driven by the baby boomers. The baby boomers have basically dictated everything that would happen in the economy. Everything from in 1945, when my grandmother took me to the grocery store in St. Bernard, Ohio, suburb of Cincinnati, and we looked at the cereal shelf and there were two choices. Well, what happened? And then we went to the soda aisle and there were two choices, Pepsi and Coke. But what happened? Well, we created supermarkets. Now we have a whole aisle of cereal. You can thank my generation for that. A whole aisle of cans of sugar with liquid in them. You can thank my generation for that. You can thank my generation for basically everything because we were the largest generation. Now we're the baby boomers and we started turning 65. In fact, we now are referred to as the gray generation, and we are the largest population in the world. And guess what? We got all the money. We the 60 and older own 75% of all the assets in the world. So we get what we want. We always have. We got our McMansions. We got our fancy cars. We got our boats. Some of us even got snowmobiles. We got an extra pickup truck. And then we've got a house at the beach. And some of us even have a private airplane. We get everything we want. So my position is, what do we want next? What do we want next? And thus, I then know, if I know what the baby boomers want next, I know what the next big companies, the next big situation is. And I go back to two things. One, March of 2020, the most important event that happened in my 76 years happened. And that was the coronavirus. The World War II brought Europe to its knees. And we came in and we helped them out. But the pandemic, it brought the world to its knees. It affected every citizen, every human being in the world. I've understood it even affected some dogs and cats. It's the most important thing that has ever happened in the world. And as a result of it, it scared the living bejesus out of the gray generation. That's the generation, the most who died from it. So as a result of that, we are going to have the next revolution. And that next revolution is going to happen in healthcare because this can never happen again. So what is it then, if I tell you that it is the baby boomers who are going to drive this because they got the money, what is it they want? Can you read it? That's what my generation wants now. I got the house. I got the cars. I got the beach house. I don't have a private plane, and I would never buy a boat and a swimming pool, two holes that you throw money into, affiliated with water. So this is where the future of investment lies. If you'll watch the ticker on your favorite morning stock market show, count how often biotech shows up. It's every third ticker. I've done it many times. Every third ticker. It's biotech. Why? Because the baby boomers want lifespan. The next thing they want is to get rid of those depreciating assets that sit in my garage called a BMW and a Porsche. I want an autonomous vehicle. Yeah, it'll probably be electric, but the electric is just the step. Do not get all tied up in investing in electric vehicles. Learn about the auto industry. They make no money. When you buy that sedan, that Toyota, that Mercedes, they make about $2,000 on each vehicle. There's no money in it. There's no monetization of it. It's the repetitive. When you want to look at the profits of a company, look at the repetitive income. Use Amazon as an example. Do they make any money off of you buying your books and your music and your ink cartridges? No. No, that's not where they make their money. They make their money in Amazon Web Services. What's that all about? What's that all about? Well, read this book. This is the Big Nine. These are the wealthiest companies in the world. There's 9 of them: IBM, Alibaba, Microsoft, Tencent, Apple, Baidu, Amazon, and Google. What do they all have in common? What do they all have in common? Wealthiest companies in the world. What do they all have? Did I say Apple? Data. When our forefathers founded this country, the most important asset, because we were an agrarian economy, was land. As the Industrial Revolution came about, it became steel. As we became a mobilized country, it became oil. Most important asset. Now, it's data. It's data. It's what you did last week, what you did in 1999, giving them the ability to predict what you're going to do today, tomorrow, next week, next year. It's data. They use it in all different kinds of ways. That's why I own Tesla. Not because it's an electric car. I will buy an electric car and it will be a Tesla, but it's because they have the data. They're going to be the one who are going to be selling Ford and General Motors the data that makes their autonomous vehicles work. That's the monetization. It's not selling the vehicles, because you sell one once, and us gray generation, damn, we drive the damn thing for 8 years. No, the money's in the data. The data you're going to need, and Ford and everybody's going to need to make that autonomous vehicle move down the highway safer and make me safe. Because you get distracted. You get dozy. You drink and drive. You're going to kill me. I don't want that. And I'm part of the gray generation, and I got the money to make sure that it doesn't happen. So that's part of what I want. The other thing I want is security. We can no longer be subjected to the fact that we don't have a supply chain, that everything that we want, need to live on comes from a foreign country, and we know that one foreign country. We can't live that way. Hell, if this had been a war rather than a biological bat infestation, we'd have lost. They'd have brought us to our knees. They would have said, if you want a vaccination, you give us Texas. Why do they want Texas? Because they want it. Because it has oil and they don't. Okay? That's the way the world works. I need security. In order to have security, I got to get the supply chain back into the United States. I got to get manufacturing back into the United States. England has to get it back into England. Germany has to get it back into Germany. It has to happen. Hell, we just had a big boat cross the Suez Canal for 6 days, and it's broke the supply chain. That can't happen again. That's a look into 2030. That's a look at why I invest the way I do. Now, did I lose 20% of my portfolio in the last 41 days? Yeah, I did. But am I worried about it? No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Because I know how the world works, and I'm a long-term investor. So, thank you, Joseph. Thank you for exposing my rant to the world, at least your world, big world, 300-some thousand of you. And if you're interested in this kind of thinking, in this kind of investing, find your way to bestofusinvestors.com. We're a tribe of, we've got about 150,000 subscribers, and at our Discord, we've got about 18,000. And how I use that Discord is I know I'm competing with quantum computers, with algorithms, with computer trading. I think it's 80% of all trades that occur on the stock market today will be done through a computer and an algorithm. So I need help. I can't find these companies on my own. So I employ the people who come to my Discord to give me ideas. Just like today, I did a video on robotics and how Jeff Bezos is going to put a robot in my house. And one of my tribe members says, have you looked at AD&D? I think that was the ticker. And it turns out it's I believe it's a Swiss company, been around since the 1800s, and they're heavy into manufacturing automation. And I looked at it, and I would never have found that company if it hadn't been for my tribe, if it hadn't been for one of the 18,000 people who saw what I was interested in. Now, what I'll do is I'll give that to our analyst committee, that's part of our Discord, that we will review it and we'll decide, is that a winner, loser, or leave it alone? Okay? That's what we do. If you'd like to be a part of it, first of all, stay with Joseph. Joseph is a qualified financial analyst. I'm not. I don't know of another one on YouTube. If you want to play the long game, come join us. All right. Thank you, Joseph. Enjoyed myself. I hope you found this all informative.